Now, the race towards the 2023 elections is on, but most young Nigerians appear to have already dropped by the wayside, leaving the political terrain to the usual professional politicians, critically with just a few months to the elections. What could the challenge be? Economic incapacity or unwillingness to take up a clearly defined challenge? How can the Nigerian youth galvanize themselves to play a relevant role in determining the next political leadership for the nation? Joining us now to have a quick conversation is Segun Dada, who is aspiring to be National Youth Leader of the All Progressives Congress. Welcome to Newsday.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon. Well, I'd like to say that it's a bit of an oxymoron almost. I mean, you're representing Nigerian youth who have more or less been relegated to the background, and this is a critical position. But that's a good thing. Now, unfortunately, you're riding on the back of the APC, which has basically crippled Nigeria at this time. So why should anybody back your political aspirations? That's my question.
Okay, well, first of all, I want to thank you very much for having me. And I would like to point out very critically that the APC, as it is actually a party that gives young people a chance. Our party, in the recent past, has been doing everything it can, have been giving us the listening here. And it's against that backdrop that I am running for the National Youth Leader position of the APC. Now, having been involved in the party since its inception in 2012, when the major talks started going on, young people of the legacy parties, that is the CPC, the AMPP, the ACN, and a part of the ABGA, with young people from all of those blocks met and we, brought ourselves into a position whereby we decided amongst ourselves there and then that we wanted this, the major that gave birth to this party to work. And we used our, independently on our, in our different blocks, we were able to put pressure on our leaders to ensure that for the sake of the future of this nation, for the sake of the future of the young people in the legacy parties, that the APC as a party, the major must work. And in February of 2013, the party became officially founded. And it was against that backdrop, young people in the party at that point, under the platform of the All Progressive Youth Forum, led by the current National Youth Leader of our great party, Barrister Ismail Ahmed, we decided to start branding our party among young people of our age grade. We brought in a lot of our young people. We ensured that we let them understand their powers, that we are also bloc members of this party. And it is against that backdrop that we have been pushing, lobbying, negotiating for our young people in the party. Are we where we want to be? No. But with continuous effort and continuous push from our point to the leadership point of view, we are going to get it. And I'm also running against the backdrop of the fact that as we approach 2023, the party, that is the All Progressives Congress, knows that the young people are its biggest demography. The National Youth Lobby Committee, of which I am a part of, met with the president recently, and the president also joined in the position that young people must get inclusion, in the party structure. And I have one simple task to do on the NWC, if given the opportunity, to protect the interest of young people, to ensure that we implement all of the things that have been said by our party leaders, from the president to the vice president to the national leaders of our party. And we have shown capacity as young people of our great party that without any interference, we can coordinate ourselves. We had a 30,000 young people rally in Ibadan recently, and it was done on the backdrop of young people coming together. We had another one in Uyo. We're going to be having more and more of this as the election comes by. Because for one, we do not want to go into this election the same way we went in 2013. And the way we went into the 2015 elections was that we put all our effort in ensuring that we helped our party get into the central government and win, the majority of the positions in the National Assembly and in the state government houses. And against this backdrop, we were I believe, we never had a sit down or a negotiation for our inclusion in the party, for the space where we'll be occupying in our great party. And as we approach the 2023 election, this is a transitional period for us. We believe that it is time for us to put our cards on the table.
All right,
and let
Segun,
the leaders know that we
permit me at this point in time to actually just try to deepen this discussion that we already have. And it's one thing to say that your party gives people the opportunity, or give young people the opportunity to vie for some of the biggest positions in Nigeria. It's another thing that the reality on ground states that young people are seen just as a spoke in the wheel, and it's always just lip service that young people can aspire. But when push comes to shove, when it comes to push them giving out positions or actually vying for positions under the auspices of the APC, we still see the old politicians still winning the elections, still wielding their popularity, and young guys are just relegated to positions like maybe the National Youth Party. And people question that they just say these things to just keep the young men around and tell them they're important. But when it comes to giving them power, it is not the reality.
Thank you for that question. And I'm going to approach it from two different directions. Our party is not just has not just been a sane party when it comes to giving young people a chance. I can count off the top of my head a lot of young people who are occupying sensitive positions in and around the country, from the federal government to the state government of the APC. And the truth of the matter is this: we have people who are MDs of agencies. We have even the current national youth leader is a senior special assistant to the president on SIP. So young people have always been given a chance, in our party. And in as much as though we do not feel it is enough, we keep pushing and ensuring that we have a place at the table. Now, on the other hand, when we are talking about this in a broader terms, you see, young Nigerians fail to understand that one of the things that we cannot do is that ageism is not sexy. Ageism is not cool. We might think it is. I hear a lot of my peers saying things like, "Oh, we have to relegate all of these old men." Now, this is a country that has a population of young, old men, women, people living with disabilities, and the truth of the matter is that everybody has a say when it comes to forming government and ensuring that there's political representation. But the one thing that we cannot do is that we cannot push these people out totally. What we can do is that we can crowd ourselves in and ensure that we cut a slice for ourselves on the table, which is basically what my entire manifesto, is about. It's about ensuring that young people understand their place in the party, understand the powers that they have in the party, that we are actually a bloc. The same way there are several, power blocks within every political party. The young people in our party are a strong bloc. And one of the things I would like to point out is that if you look at the subcommittee list for the upcoming convention, a lot of young people are represented ably on that list, as opposed to the opposition party that had its own operations, done, among the elites and the older cadre in the party. Young people in our party understand what it takes and are being lent the rope. But what we continue to ask for is more inclusion. Now, have we been able to succeed to the point where we are satisfied? No, we are not. We're always going to keep asking for more, and we're going to keep pushing for more. Now, there are so many of this, like you said, there are some people who have said some things as though they have made promises and all of that. But the truth is that what young people fail to realize is it is not just about sitting at home and being a member of the outrage industrial complex. It is about getting involved and showing up and participating. I was one of the youngest members of the Buhari official campaign of the Buhari Oshibajo presidential organization in 2014-2015. I was just 23 years of age, and we had young people like Bashir Ahmed, Toby, Johannes, and co, who were also on this committee. So we have always shown our stake, and I know for certain that our party.
But Segun, permit me to just interject at this point. Some will say that your national leader, who has indicated interest to run for the highest office in the land, is too old to run for office. Do you subscribe to that? Do you agree with the people that say he's too old to run for office? That maybe you did a young person.
I'm sorry. I don't know who you're referring to.
Your national leader talking about Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
Okay, so like I said earlier, ageism is not cool, and young people of our generation must understand that. See, the truth of the matter is that as the Constitution stands today, anybody below the age of 50 cannot aspire to be president. So anybody who is saying someone is too old to hold a position, I mean, our youthfulness is a phase. It's a passing phase that we are actually going to get to all these positions where we are also going to grow up and we'll still want to be a part of the national conversation, part of the way the things are run. I mean, we young people cannot understand the pain. The same way, I mean, it will be tantamount of us accusing, we are doing the same thing that we are accusing these leaders of, by saying we want total exclusion of them, from our politics. That's not the way it's going to work, because we are running a representational democracy, and every demography needs to have a say. And what we should be looking at as young people is how we can ensure that we have a say by joining the two main political parties and ensuring that we drive up our value within these parties, drive up our values, understand the system, and ensure that we take advantage wherever it is possible to get ourselves and our people into the right places in office.
Okay, so thank you for that. Can you speak more on how the youth can actually galvanize themselves ahead of the 2023 elections to ensure that their votes count? I'd like you to go into specifics, please.
Okay, so first of all, the one thing I always say to our young people is that if you wait for election day, I mean, I subscribe to all of the get your PVCs and all of that. Yes. If you wait till election day, you're already too late. Because the truth of the matter is that these two political parties are the major political parties that are going to present candidates for whatever positions, from House of Assembly to House of Reps to Senate to the presidential race itself. So instead of waiting for these political parties to make their decisions at their primaries, that will be done by delegates, by members of the party who are involved in the party. My belief is that young people should join these political parties and ensure that they push for the candidates of their choice. Because by the time you get to election day, what will be served to you on the ballot box is not going to be the people, it's going to be the party that is going to be on the ballot box. And the truth of the matter is that we can try as much as we are, and we in the APC are already doing that. We are galvanizing. Like I stated earlier, under the leadership of Barrister Ismail Ahmed, we had the first ever Progressive Youth Conference. And in this youth conference, we had a communique where we stated categorically what we needed, what we want to be, that we wanted to be a part of decision making in the party and in the government, that we were a part of forming. We want to be a part of decision making. We want to create a youth directorate that ensures that the activities of young people is not secluded only to electioneering and election period alone. We want to ensure that our party is not just a special purpose vehicle for people to come and aspire to get into office. We want to ensure that our party is one where young people learn the progressive ideals of what it means to be a member of that political party, and hold those ideals, irrespective of whether they get what they want or not. So these are the things that matter. And as the president, the vice president, the senate president, the speaker, the chairman of the caretaker committee have all accepted our communique. And I've all indicated that they are willing to subscribe to that communique. Did we stop there? No, we did not. We went ahead and we held a progressive youth festival, the first of its kind in the history of this country, where no politician of note was on at that point. It was strictly mobilized for young people, by young people, for young people. We had over 30,000 people in Balogun Stadium, in the Liberty Stadium in Ibadan. Now, we galvanized our young people. We made them understand that there is going to be a youth agenda. There are things that we are going to be making.
Okay. So Segun, permit me, as we try to wrap up this discussion, I just wanted to point out a factual error in your statement that the age requirement, according to Chapter 6 of Part 1, Section 131 of the Constitution, states that the person must at least have attained the age of 40, not 50. You said 50. Just wanted to state that. I want to say thank you very much for joining us, and we're hoping younger people are given the opportunity way below 50 to actually contest under the auspices of the APC.